All right, with me, I have DeCarlo Garcia. DeCarlo is running for County Commissioner District 1, which is comprised mostly of the northeastern part of Okaloosa County, including the eastern half of Crestview and Laurel Hill. And so, DeCarlo, what I ask all the candidates that come on to do first is tell us a little bit about yourself. So can you give us a little bit of background on who DeCarlo Garcia is?
All right, my name is DeCarlo Garcia. I am originally from Texas, East Texas specifically. But my childhood was moving around a lot. I didn't really get a chance to settle down, but on my 18th birthday, I joined the United States Air Force. Decided to, serve my country. Right now, I am a contractor, military contractor, working on radars on Eglin Air Force Base. I've been there for over 17 years. I am also the vice president of a nonprofit organization called We Reign Sickle Cell Corporation. I've been here in Okaloosa County for 26 years, since 1998. I've been here for all of my adulthood. I've been in Okaloosa County.
And so you said
Sorry,
you're
sorry.
from.
I forgot to say, I'm also the chairman of the Citizens Advisory Council for Christian.
Okay, so first things first, you're a fellow Texan. So where in East Texas are you from?
Lufkin, Texas.
Lufkin. All right,
Yes.
I'm from Dallas proper. So
Okay.
very cool. Right on. So tell me a little bit about your work with these communities or these community groups. What are you finding yourself accomplishing? What do you want to accomplish in those groups right now? And then we'll transition to what do you want to do if you were to become county commissioner for District 1?
Well, after serving in the military, I know it's a very empowering thing, and it's a purpose. It gives a person purpose to serve more than be selfish into themselves. So I found myself doing a lot of volunteer work, especially when COVID happened. It was a very big need. So, the need was there. So I answered the call. The We Ran Sickle Cell Corporation, it's a very big need in that with, medical advocacy and things like that, people suffering from this blood-borne disease. So I like to be a part of teams. I like to join in on the fight. I like to be seen, and I want people to see that I'm not just you like to talk about it. I like to actually be about it. I don't want to be one of those people that like to complain but never even put forth the effort to do something about it.
Perfect. And so tell me a little bit how you would use the information that you have, the experience that you've garnered over the last, I guess, really 25 years as a commissioner. What would you want to do with the power that the people would vest in you if you were elected?
One of the things is, in my experience, I was once homeless. And I am a vet, so I got a chance to see uh, from the bottom that it's a very big need, and a lot of it seems to go unanswered directly. This is a retirement community, and a lot of military also are present, and a lot of vets would love to come and stay here. So, as commissioner, I would love to make sure that the people that gave their lives for our country do not go unnoticed, and they have enough assistance that they need from housing, affordable housing, and healthcare.
So actually today as we're recording this is a county commission day, and the county voted unanimously to go ahead and put together a letter to send to General Garrity, who's the base commander over at Eglin, asking them for a large parcel over at if you're familiar with Niceville on the northwest side where the golf course is. They want to build a bunch of affordable housing there. Is that something that you could see yourself supporting, or do you feel that affordable housing needs to be in other places?
No, you want to keep affordable housing in areas that is attainable, where they can also have access to other municipalities and features that are inside cities, things like that. We don't want to put them on the outskirts. We're not throwing them away. There are citizens, there are fellow, Americans, things like that. So I'm definitely willing to support an initiative that is going to be a benefit to our vets or homeless people or anybody of low income.
We have a lot of expansion coming towards, or I guess residential expansion in the north end, closer to you, right? And we've seen some pushback on the county commissioners over the last, I would say, 2 months. People worried about getting agricultural land, say that 5 times quickly,
Right.
and turning it into residential land. What are your thoughts on continued Some people would say expansion, other people would say sprawl. What's the way that you would fix that?
Um, I don't think constantly encroaching on expansion is the answer. Growth is inevitable and that's actually necessary, but I think it needs to be more controlled. We do have space within, it's not a lot, but we do have space within places that's already have been developed to build up, not out. We want to grow up and not out. And yeah, I'm sure, I know, I'm aware there's a ceiling, but we need to take advantage of keeping everything within, especially like I mentioned before, affordable housing. With the housing market right now, it's very out of control. A lot of people, a lot of our citizens, unless they're involved with military, can't really afford the housing. So we need to make sure that the locals are safe. We need to make sure that the locals have been accommodated instead of just trying to make sure that we develop outward for developers to create something for people from the outside. I'm not saying they're not necessary, but we need to make sure we take care of home before we do more expanding. Farmlands up in the north area they made their peace with they've spoken their piece as far as they don't want further encroachment. We're going to be taken by overdevelopment. So overdevelopment is something that once.
I see my motto. Oh, okay, you're finished. Sorry, we're having a little bit of lag on this, so I'm gonna, of course, edit it. But I wanted to make sure I still had you. As you're talking about making sure that the agricultural land in the north end is here to stay, for lack of a better term. I guess my next question is, are you okay with changing the height restrictions or increasing density in places like Niceville or Fort Walton Beach or even Crestview? Would you be okay with things like high-rise apartments?
Well, we'll have to definitely have to do a little bit more research. I know that the military have uh, uh, restrictions on, working in conjunction with the military. We have restrictions on heights. I'm definitely for heights. We don't have that much space, so I know if they could ease some of those restrictions to allow us to build up more, then it probably won't be so much of demand to build out. So definitely. But with that, also reinforce the infrastructure that's already in place to make sure that we can handle such a load within the cities and towns that we have.
Changing subjects just a little bit. Everybody wants really great services from the government. They want people to be able to call a sheriff's deputy and have them show up at their door in less than 30 seconds flat. Everybody wants to make sure nothing ever floods ever again, stuff like that. But they also are really, people I feel are really, really committed to kind of like a low tax philosophy. Which one is better? Because, you can't get something for nothing. So do you see yourself as somebody that wants to ensure the best services possible, or is it more about keeping taxes low?
That's definitely a juggling act. Taxes are, as long as taxes are being used properly, not necessarily against it. How increasing taxes, when taxes are already a load on Okaloosa and the citizens. So I definitely would look for any measure that we can do if we have any kind of surplus. We reallocate those to things to help soften the blow for the economy of the citizens of Okaloosa by, making sure that we, curtail such a thing as a need for increase in tax. But it is something that I would have to have a lot more research on to answer properly. But I'm not 100% against it. But as long as it's being done properly, and that we make sure that we think of the citizens of Okaloosa first over developers or over anything else, the large government should be okay.
So another, I guess, quick change of subject, because I'm hearing the fighter jets are flying above me right now. What is the role of the economy as it relates to the military, which takes up a huge portion of our economy? Something like 2/3 of the money that gets made in Okaloosa County comes from Eglin Air Force Base and Hurlburt Field, right? A lot of it comes from tourism. What do we do in order to diversify our economy so that when somebody decides that they don't need Eglin Air Force Base anymore up in Washington, D.C., or need something here, or we get hit by a hurricane like Panama City did, what are you going to do in the next 4 years, or as long as you would be on the commission? What would you do in order to ensure some economic diversity to, I guess, harden this area?
Well, we're going to have to be very creative, right? we're going to make sure that we look and not just take guesses. Military is very important, but there are, as I said, I'm a contractor, so there could be an industry that we can make sure that we can build and make sure we keep here to keep those jobs alive and well. But my job as commissioner will be to go out and make sure I work with military, whether there's a base here or not, to secure jobs that are for people with those skills and not have them leave Okaloosa, but they can still stay.
I was talking with our contractor over here at Mid-Bay News. We have somebody that's riding with us over the summer. She just graduated or will graduate this week from high school, 17, 18 years old. And we were talking about, hey, what are you going to do after college? And she talked about like she'd like to come back. It's a nice place to be, but it's of course too expensive, and there's not enough to do. So how do we retain young talent that we've been building? We have some of the best schools in the state, right? How do we retain that talent here long term? What things should we be doing that we're not doing right now in order to retain those young people?
That kind of goes in line with the fortifying like inner cities and things like that. One thing is the youth don't really have too many things to do. So making sure that we bring in businesses that help up for, like especially during the summertime, there's going to be things, that there's going to be things that they don't have that help decrease on things like crime. When the youth have something to do, as you said, she graduates, but she needs somewhere to go. We could do something like, I don't know, increase the film industry, expand the film industry here. A lot of projects come here, basically film, which is a lot of revenue could be made. They use our beaches, they use our forestry, but then they leave. We can expand on other things with teaching, make sure we pay teachers well here, like you said about the schools. Make sure the teachers are well paid and compensated for the great work that they do. Also, other forms of entertainment or service. We know hospitality is big, especially in the southern portion of Okaloosa, but places like Crestview have I-10 going right through it, which is a major artery through the entire United States. That's a lot of traffic. So sports complex, something that brings a lot of jobs, but also brings a lot of availability and opportunities in different aspects throughout the year that can actually keep people in Okaloosa.
You're the only candidate currently running against an incumbent. First of all, what does that feel like? And secondly, what makes you different from the incumbent? And what would you change? What would you see that would be? What would we see that would be a new policy from the Okaloosa County Commission with you on board?
It is exciting and a little scary, but I believe that I bring a different perspective that has yet to be seen in Okaloosa County, especially at the level of county commissioners. I am a grassroots person. I do not mind getting in the mud with those who are going through. I do like to listen. I'm not afraid to actually hear all sides from everyone and work together with everyone to try to come with the best option and not exclude anyone, any certain group. I believe that when you are of service first to the people, the reward comes by actually being of service to the community.
And so what groups do you feel like are being excluded right now, and what would you change about policies and procedures to make them feel more included?
Well, as I mentioned before, the homeless, it's not that they're being excluded, but it's very hard for them to gain access to things. When I was homeless, I didn't know what I had available to me. I basically walked around almost seemed aimlessly trying to find out how to help. But places like Sharing and Caring, they helped me greatly with giving me giving me clothing. I was able to shower and things like that. Education is a big thing. Working with the schools to deal with to make sure that the youth also get more involved with local government so that they can understand what it is that actually affects them on a day-to-day basis.
Perfect. I've asked you a lot of questions. Are there any things that you want people to know about your campaign, about yourself, about the office that you're seeking to hold that we haven't covered yet?
Not really, but District 1 is it's a lot of space. It is you know, especially up in North Okaloosa, there's a lot of farmland. I think farmland is it's one of those things that look at what most people have experienced so far.
Perfect. Well, DeCarlo Garcia is running for District 1 County Commissioner. Election day is August the 20th. You have until 30 days before that to register to vote, or to register, to register to vote 30 days before that. And we will see what happens next. So, Mr. Garcia, I appreciate your time. Thank you for being on.
Thank you for having me.
What I'm going to do real quick is